There's no click. And I'm rolling.
Okay, go on, Kyle, you must start.
I'm Kyle, this is Max. Unfortunately we're short of Hugh today because he's ill. And we are under Max's production company, Headrush Films. We are doing Casino Royale and GoldenEye for our visuals for the music concert. So yeah, this is our presentation. So yeah, we picked these two songs.
Why did you pick them?
We picked them because they were both under the same director, Martin Campbell. So we thought there were two different types of films. So we thought we'd pick them and see what we could do with them. So the first one we're going to talk about is Casino Royale.
Yeah, I'll talk about that. Yeah, as Kyle said, Martin Campbell, it was interesting when we found out about that because obviously Casino Royale, I know they're sort of years apart, but Casino Royale and GoldenEye are two very different films. So that's what we thought was very interesting. That's what we wanted to do with this. We all had different ideas, didn't we, with Casino Royale? There wasn't just a set idea, you know, from one of the, I can't speak, one of us. But obviously you've seen the film, or if you haven't, obviously it centres a lot around casinos. So we, in the intro of the film, you know, it's very heavily, you know, very heavy visuals with things like cards, poker chips. What else is there's a lot of death and blood going on, that sort of thing, and that was probably the main inspiration for us, because mainly it's got to look nice on its own, but obviously it's meant to complement the singing, you know, when the performance is going on. So we need it to look good on its own and complementing that. So as you can see here, we put everyone poker chips. We thought it was quite a cool idea to have, you know, just a shot of a casino table and use those kind of visuals. A lot of blood as well, because you know it's used a lot in James Bond. But what we wanted to do specifically is, if someone was watching this, you know, not when it's being performed, but to realise it is James Bond just from the sort of the iconography and all, like the what's the word I'm looking for?
Iconography is the right word?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's any other words I can use that make me sound more intelligent than I am. But yeah, you see, there's a lot of blood in James Bond. It's not the most of violence of films. We're not trying to make it, you know, sort of very violent and, you know, unappealing, that sort of thing. But we wanted to make it sort of more glorified in that sort of term. Like, there's a lot of things, for example, we'll talk about like martini glasses and stuff like that, because it's a very James Bond thing, and have it filled with blood, for example, because it's very sort of, what's the word? I'm forgetting all these words.
Cinematic?
Yeah, cinematic, and it's also the kind, because, you know, James Bond, it's never really, it's an action series, but they're not very sort of dark and melancholic in that sort of way. So we wanted to make it quite dissonant in that way. So it's almost like juxtaposition sort of thing, because James Bond looks quite cool, you know, with his suit on. He's very gentry looking, you know. And we just thought if we had a shot of him with blood on his hands, it kind of makes it less, you know, less PG-13 almost.
Right.
It looks more. We're not trying to make it adult, if that makes sense. We're just trying to emphasise the main points of Bond. So yeah, that's what we're doing. As I just said before, we didn't want an actor. Well, obviously we needed an actor, which I said I do. Obviously, because I most like Bond. But we didn't want to show the face, because, as I just said, we don't want it to be, oh yeah, this is James Bond. You can tell by his car, his gadgets, you know, the stuff on the table. We just want to see, just from the iconography itself, just from the visual elements. So we'll have a shot of, you know, James himself playing with some cards or poker chips on the table, but you can see he's wearing a suit, so you can already tell it's James Bond.
Shots over the shoulder.
Shots over the shoulder, yeah, from
like
low angle, sort of just his feet.
So you're hiding his face?
Yeah.
Hiding his face, basically, because not just because it adds a bit of mystery, the fact that it's not needed anyway, we don't think. Locations, yeah, the main place is the TV studio, because it's got the right, you know, acoustics, and it's got the right lighting system, especially the shots with the casino we were talking about, with the casino. But we're going to make, I think we're going to get one of those casino table covers.
Tables, yeah.
Yeah, I can think of the word. And if we light it well, hopefully it looks like it's a casino, because we do want to, like, you know, make the audience think that it's a casino, obviously. But we're also thinking of going outside and doing a few shots as well, and also using a lot of stuff with cars, which you looked into online,
Yeah,
which it says here.
One of the ideas is trying to maybe speak to a dealership so you can film a nice car, an Audi or a Jaguar or something.
In the showroom or?
Possibly, if even better would be it actually moving and driving. That would be an idea. Just need to speak to them and see what they say.
There's another way to do it. Green screen.
Mm.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
Doesn't have to go anywhere then.
That's
No.
true.
Green screen, wind machine,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
lights.
You just do it. Take it to the place. Take it to the showroom.
Cheaper, I suppose, isn't it? Cheaper. But yeah, moving on. The shoot times just start after half term because we've got a lot of ideas. We just need to probably finalise them and make a storyboard, just so it, on the day we're not funding our ideas. Like, because we do have a lot of ideas, and I'm very confident with the idea of the film, I should say. But we don't want to just go in there and go, okay, what bit are we filming first? We need to just set it out. So half term is ideally for us three the best time. And you looked into the sort of demographic, really, didn't you, of the film? That was your field, so do you want to explain? Because you're better at it than me.
We looked at the demographic for Casino Royale. We thought it was between 18 and 45 men, between the ABC, B and D demographic, because it does touch kind of middle to upper class and also slightly the lower classes as well. Another idea Hugh came up with is for the Casino Royale is shrinking. It would be on green screen. It would be like a poker table with chips on and things, a roulette table, and it would be shrinking down James Bond and have him running across the table, dodging the poker chips and things like that as if he was shrunk down. Sorry. We've got a visual here what it would look like.
Not like that, not that big.
No.
Wouldn't lose on 20 either.
Depends how long you run for.
So that would be the idea, the gist of it.
Yeah, and it's also paying tribute to the intro in the film because it's all using silhouettes apart from James Bond himself. That's what we're looking for. We want to pay a lot of tribute to, especially the opening of the film, 'cause that's the most sort of visually stunning, I think, in our opinions. But not obviously just rip it off. It's got to be unique. But yeah, we got a video from James for Casino Royale.
Just the opening.
This is what we on play. The whole thing. So obviously I said the blood before, and also the suits and the cards.
So it would be like that, small.
My expectations have just risen through the roof then. It wouldn't just like that. The people are just like that.
Yeah, you was first.
Yeah.
The next one we're doing is GoldenEye. The concept behind this is to focus it more on the Nintendo 64 game.
That's my idea.
Which was Max's idea. So it's going to be just point of view really. So we've got a steady cam and we're going to try and do it all point of view.
Do you have a video to show just so?
That's further on, yeah.
Oh, is this because it's a GoldenEye game? Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's right. Okay.
So the plan is to film it all point of view. We're going to get actors to play the bad guys and the soldiers and dress them up in props and things.
We had a different idea for that, didn't we? Because in the game itself, in a lot of games, they usually recycle the sort of animation for villains. So we could if we just dress someone up in a typical kind of evil kind of side villain kind of outfit, we could just literally just use him loads of times. Because that's what, if you watch any of the footage, I don't know if the footage we've got actually shows that, because it was a later idea. But that's what we're trying to think.
Every soldier looks the same, so if you just use the same
Right.
person.
Yeah,
And the the target demographic will get that.
Yeah.
exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
We thought with GoldenEye it was a lot younger audience. That thought the Pierce Brosnan films were more comical.
Yeah, they were,
and
yeah.
like a younger
Mhm.
age.
Yeah, there's a comparison. That's why we kind of focused a lot on Martin Campbell, because obviously he's a director who's done both of these. So we wanted one that was a bit light-hearted, one was a bit dark. The dark one being Casino Royale, and obviously the light one being this. And I think it'll get to lots of people who have gamed will probably like this, and people who also like James Bond would like this as well. So it's pulling the biggest sort of target audience, I think.
So where are you going to shoot that then?
the idea is to start over in the college. I thought if we use the elevators and things like that, the
Mhm.
corridors, that would be really good. But we had an idea of, if we worked our way back, start from the college, come in here, and as if we were going into the studio, the theatre, sorry, as if he was
Right.
coming to the concert.
Right,
And
okay.
then we're thinking,
That's good.
Yeah.
starting it, we'd say like he opens a mission, and the mission we get to
Yeah.
the James Bond concert.
Very
So
good.
Yeah.
So that would be the kind of gist.
And it kind of links in with that the Olympics thing,
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah. where it's linked to the Queen, and
Mhm.
then she comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in
Get
that
Myra
sense,
to play
It's
the
referencing
Queens.
that as well. So
yeah.
You get Myra to play the Queen. role.
Yeah.
Oh, the villain.
Yeah.
But in that sense, what are you going to do then? So you've
Yeah,
brought
Mara could be your M.
but that
Yeah,
suggests
that would be a
that's
good
just
one.
moving into
Mm.
live action, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's wrong with that? Nothing. So you then have to time your actors to
Yeah.
at a particular point in time, and it would have to be though, as perhaps not to upstage the song or the people
Yes,
performing, or you'd
that's
have to
true.
talk to the people
Yeah.
performing and say, look, this is what's going to happen at this particular
Yeah.
point in time. So I mean, it's easy to then have another feed outside into a video screen outside, and people can then monitor what's going on and go, well,
Yeah.
now's the time you go in. You know, that's fine.
Yeah.
Couldn't you mock it up and then sort of film all of that beforehand, and then just have a small segment which makes it look like it's happening live, so that there's no risk of anything going wrong on the way.
Mhm.
Going back to the very first, well, I need to go to this meeting, but going back to the very first one, I think that the idea with the shrunken down
Mhm.
counters and things on the table sounded a lot stronger. I mean, as a cell, it was a clearer picture of what, I straight away saw what you'd be trying to do.
Mm.
I think the thing with the blood, I kept thinking, is this Bond is a vampire?
Yeah. I understand that.
There was a bit too much emphasis on blood and
Mm.
stuff, and you tried to make the point that it wasn't a gory,